Welcome back to Cigar Exploration USA. I've got the Rocky PATEL. This is a 20th. This is a Toro size. It's a Maduro. It's box pressed. You can see it's another one of those really hard box pressed cigars. It's almost twice as wide as it is narrow. Got a really pretty cigar band on it. These Rocky PATELs seemed a little out of my reach for a while, and I've been getting these pretty cheap lately. See, it says XX years and counting, which means 20 years and counting in Roman numerals. This is like a $5 cigar, and it sure doesn't look like it. Got a nice footband on it that says Maduro. I doubt that this will smoke like a $5 cigar. It's probably gonna be pretty darn good. Let's get a straight cut on it, or sorry, a V cut. I don't ever straight cut box press cigars unless that's all I had. This smells like barnyardy, earthy, tobacco, cocoa. A little sweetness with the cocoa probably. All right, we're gonna get a straight cut. I said it again. We're V cutting this cigar. I keep saying straight cut. Here we go. Perfect. This is my favorite cutter. This is that Bugatti cutter, a V cutter. So, cold draw. Okay. It's got a lot on the smell compared to the cold draw. Cold draw, you're just getting kind of rubber. Feels like kind of a tight draw. And there's that sweetness a little bit, that cocoa. Paired it today with this Joseph Magnus. This was a $100 bottle at my local Pennsylvania liquor store, on sale for $75. So they probably got me. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. When something's on clearance, what does that mean? All right, taking that little footband off. Okay, let's get it toasted up. What are you guys drinking? What are you guys smoking today? Trying to make these videos a little bit more manageable, getting the whiskey in the glass ahead of time. I'm gonna talk a lot about this whiskey though. I really want to talk about the bottle. It's pretty interesting. I did pair these together, obviously, but the whiskey is what I'm a little more excited about. I really hope it lives up to the hype. It's got great color. You can see the color in the bottle and in the glass. It's got that nice dark coppery color. It's usually a good sign for a finished whiskey. And it looks light. Usually doesn't have very good viscosity and usually not a lot of flavor. When it's finished in a second barrel or finished, like Makers does, where they put this staves in the barrels, it adds a lot of color usually, at least from my experience. All right, these Maduros could usually hold up to a beaten from the lighter, but I'm still not gonna give it one. I'm gonna get it nice and evenly toasted. Make sure our cherry looks nice and even. Put a little bit of the wrapper toasted on each part of it, each side, just as much as we need to. Looks perfect. Let's see how we did. Yeah, this is pretty much what I expected from this cigar now. There is nothing wrong with what I expected. I smoke quite a few of these now, Rocky PATELs. They never disappoint. This one is definitely a resistant draw, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Draws a little harder, but wearing this sweatshirt because you got the rivalry back in action tonight. Baseball finally starts tonight, September 30th, with the Yankees and the Red Sox. Most people I talk to don't care about regular season baseball. All they care about is the playoffs, so that's why I said baseball's finally starting tonight. I've got a little tight draw here. This Maduro leaf wrapper on here is so smooth. It might be the smoothest Maduro wrapper I've ever felt on any cigar ever. Quality is second to none. Very good. A tapping noise of some construction going on down the street. All right, so this thing is tight. Let's see what we can do to fix it up a little bit. Hear that cracking noise, that's never a good thing. But got to get a good draw on a cigar. Doesn't matter how good it tastes if you can't draw it. It helped a little bit. I've talked about this in countless videos on my channel, but when a cigar is giving you draw issues, 99% of the time it's not your cut. I mean, there is no issue with this cut. Bouncing a little bit there, you see that? They're vibrating the whole ground here, digging utility lines. So you got to crack this. Usually it's in here where the band is, that it's, in my experience, that it's where it has a problem, and you got to kind of gently either take your fingers and try to crack it, or take your teeth. I like the teeth method the best, and try to crack it there. Oh, okay. Getting some sweet kind of wood. Maybe oak on the retro. That was nice. Yeah, I really like that. It's like, I'd say like a sweet, definitely oak. Definitely oak. Yeah, that's good. It's a nice mild, woody, oaky taste you get. Smell and taste. And just cocoa powder, earth. Kind of what I expected. Kind of like I always describe these as, like, you can see I didn't damage the cigar either. You can take a look at it there. It's not cracked under the band either. See? You just gotta be really careful. That cracking noise was internal, which was a good thing for this cigar. Good thing for me. All right. Let's mess with this whiskey a little bit. So, $100 regularly, on sale for $75, on clearance for $75. So, I mean, once you can't return clearance items, but once you open a bottle of liquor, you can't return it anyway. So, straight bourbon whiskey, finished in sherry and cognac casks. So it intrigued me. Triple cask. So, and I did read this has got juice from. It's got juice from Kentucky and Indiana. So, probably MGP in Indiana. Read that there. Distilled, Indiana and Kentucky. So, Joseph Magnus, I had their cigar blend on my channel. I made a short out of it. Somebody just gave me a sample of it. I didn't actually have a bottle of it. It's my first Joseph Magnus bottle. This is surprising. There's a cork pull. Surprising it had a plastic cork. You know, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. It's like a wine bottle with a screw top. It just seems cheaper when it doesn't have a cork. And when whiskey doesn't have a real cork or has a screw top, it just seems cheaper to me. It says remarkable spirits for remarkable people on the top here. And it's got this interesting neck. It's got that long neck. It's probably better this way. I don't know if you can read it or not, see it or not. So, it's got this really cool emblem on the back too. It's really neat looking. So this is 100 proof. It says it's batch number 328, bottle number 109. So, you know, they're getting pretty fancy with this. And I've been into finished whiskeys a lot lately. I just think it started mostly with the Maker's Mark 46. I love that stuff. I cannot believe how smooth this Maduro wrapper is. It's like silk in my mouth. Okay, this cigar is picking up the way it should now. Just needed a little bit of a coaxing there. All right, so see the color on this is remarkable. It's just gold and copper. The nose is pretty intense. Definitely getting overpowering of the sherry compared to the cognac. All right, let's give it a taste. Just getting candy cherry. Butterscotch, kind of a lot of alcohol. That's interesting because you got a cognac and a sherry, and obviously a bourbon. Profile in the same glass here. This is the first sherry and cognac bourbon I've ever tried. Has to be at least 3, right? It says triple cask. It's going to be a regular Joseph Magnus, and then one that was in a cognac barrel and one that was in a sherry barrel. Mix the 3 of them together, set it at 100 proof, put it in a bottle, and try and sell it for $100. I'll let you know in a second if it's worth $75. All right, we got something going on here. Definitely something going on. Just a cherry waterfall. A caramel waterfall full of candied cherries in it. It's not like a sherry cask or a cognac. It is both. It's got a little something different going on. Because I recently explored the Thomas S. More sherry cask and then the cognac cask. Maybe I'll mix them together. I got a little of the cognac and I just got another bottle of sherry. Maybe I'll mix them together in the same glass and see if they can hold up to this. They're 45 a piece. We're gonna call this 75 because I would never pay 100. Especially after tasting it now. There is definitely nothing wrong with it. It is good. If you really like finished whiskey, then this Joseph Magnus might be for you if it's within your budget. I did a big job the other week and got a bonus from it. And so I went and bought some stuff I normally wouldn't buy. And so circling back around to the clearance thing I was talking about. So this was on clearance and there's like 7 bottles of it. And it's been on clearance almost for a month now. And it's just sitting there. So it just makes me wonder, am I gonna buy something just because it's on clearance and then be disappointed in it? And the answer is no. No, I'm not. I think this is even gonna get better. I only took 1 sip, but it's like, am I the only one that doesn't know? Or am I the only one that does know? Is there somebody that walks by that and goes, I ain't paying $75 for that. I had that ain't no good. At least not for $75. Or people just walking by it because it's $75 and they go, I'm not spending $75 on a bottle of whiskey. That was me, months ago. Now I just keep getting worse and worse, at least with whiskey. Cigars, I've been maintaining my $5 to $15 range for cigars, but whiskey though, it's getting nuts. Between the Blantons and, I'm buying stuff that kind of hard to get, paying secondary for it. This has a great nose. I'm just gonna say, without, that was a neck pour, and without, actually drinking more of it, I'm gonna say that I think it's worth it. I don't know that I'd buy it again anytime soon, but I think it was worth the money to try it. It's an interesting sort of blend. This is my first bottle from these guys as well. So it looks like they were established in 1892 and then reestablished in 2015, which means they were bought by somebody, I'm sure. So finished and bottled. Okay, in Holland. So it's not even bottled in Kentucky. It's bottled in, looks like, Michigan. All right, so somebody picked the brand up in 15. Like I said, I had the cigar blend. I don't know what year the cigar blend was from. It was really good. It came in one of those little glass bottles. You can look up the short. I smoked it with a Perdomo on my channel. Honestly, I think that cigar blend is like well over 100, and I would say that this is at least as good, maybe better, than the cigar blend. So take that for what it's worth too. And this cigar is just great. Now that I fixed it, look at the ash on that thing. I mean, that is about as white and perfect as it gets. So everybody's predicting the Yankees are going to take the Red Sox. You know, they need to win 2 out of 3 games. They're all in New York. We think they're going to beat them 2-0. I've just seen enough stuff in my time since being a Yankees fan, and it's been 2009 since they won a World Series. They just happened to just turn off the power, let off the gas, and just not hit the baseball in the postseason. So we'll see. So I guess I'm breaking some rules here with this whiskey too, right? Because I'm a Tennessee, Kentucky guy. So we've got Kentucky juice in there, but we're not bottled in Kentucky or Tennessee, and we've got Indiana juice in there. I'll have to look up some more details about this. It's got something different on the cigar just now. What the heck was that? Fruit. It's got some fruit there. That was nice. Red fruit. Kind of plummy, maybe. I saw that Rocky Patel put out his 55 or 55th or something too, because he's 55 years old. I was looking at those too. These are just really affordable. Like I said, about $5. The cigar band is just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's so pretty you can't even see it because it's reflecting. It's just beautiful. Leave me a comment. Let me know what Rocky Patels you've had. We could try to rattle them off. I had the 1990 vintage. I had the decade. I had the Sun-Grown Maduro. I had something else as well. I think one other one, and then this one. So I've had like 4 or 5 different ones. This one's really great. I guess you could compare. I like the anniversary cigars when they come out with, like I said, I had the decade, which was their 10th. This is their 20th. It's nice when they do that. It's easy to remember too. 95 to 15, 20th anniversary. So clearly this came out 10 years ago. So they must have a 30th, you would think. Cigar band's kind of loose. You would think that would be a sign of under humidification, but I mean, short of taking that tool and sticking it in the cigar and checking the humidity, I'm pretty confident in my system that this cigar is humidified correctly. I bought this cigar 2 weeks ago, maybe closer to 3 weeks now. Yeah, beginning of the month, so more than 3 weeks. I mean, and then, you know, being loose like that would be under humidified, but it's not smoking like it's under it. If anything, it's smoking slow, like it's over humidified, but also not the case as far as I can tell. Yeah, great cigar, especially for the money. $5 cigar, go for this all day. Whiskey's a little expensive, but I think if it's in your budget, you know, I wouldn't take a loan out to get one. If it's in your budget, you can get over to Pennsylvania, find one of these for $75. I say go for it. Maybe you can get it cheaper other places. I don't even know. That's just what it was where I'm at. The nose is just getting better and better. The nose is just getting more and more candy-like. It's got decent viscosity, good finish. If anything, I'd say the first feel of it when you first put it in your mouth is the only part of the four parts that I say is not that strong. And nose is great. Then first putting it in your mouth, not bad, but not the greatest. And then while it's in your mouth, you know, the second half of it being in your mouth, really good. And then swallowing, finishing is really good as well. So 3 out of 4 on that. I got another bottle similar to this on clearance as well. I'll make a video about that soon. Talk about that one. I don't know if anything's gonna beat this though for the money, meaning the other bottle I think was the same price. It was $75, and I don't know that it's gonna beat this. This is pretty darn good. This cigar just keeps getting better and better. Let me know what you think about baseball. Do you watch baseball all year round, or do you just watch it when the playoffs start? Because most of my buddies, they don't care. Right? Obviously, everybody watches football, but none of my friends give a crap about baseball until playoffs start. Like, they walk around with their baseball cap on all year round. And I get it. It doesn't mean that you have to watch it just because you wear the hat, but they look the part. They don't really care about baseball. Until the playoffs come. Yankees won their last 8 games, so we'll see how they do. Anybody thinking of hating on me for being a Yankees fan, just remember, they haven't won it since '09. I mean, you're not really a front-running, you know, jerk anymore. It's not early 2000s anymore. I'm gonna ash this, even though this ash feels rock solid, like literally, like it. Okay, it came off pretty easy, so it's probably a good move. That's what it looks like after I ashed it. Wants to focus on me, right? Not the cigar. Why? Focus on the cigar. There we go. Yeah, this is a nice stick. Government's probably going to shut down tonight too, so I don't know how many of you that affects, but if it does, I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't mess anything up for you. That's just so stupid. Like, I've been trying to pay attention to learn and even understand why it does that or what that means when it does that, and I don't get it. I don't really know. What? Imagine if your regular job was like that. If a bunch of idiots, your board or something, the board of directors or whatever they're called, was just like, yeah, we can't agree on something, so nobody's gonna get paid. We're just gonna shut down your business, wherever you work, the warehouse you work at, the construction company you work at, the lawyer's office you work at, the law office, and they just shut it down. And just everybody goes home and nobody gets paid. It's just so stupid. Like, that's the dumbest way. That's literally the dumbest business model of all time, and that's how our government is set up. So that's pretty smart. Also, today, while we were talking about government news, you had all the generals, either today, I think it was yesterday actually, probably was yesterday, yeah. All the generals and admirals from the whole world meeting in one spot, which I'm sure at the time was the most secure location literally on the planet. There was probably F-35s just circling the whole meeting the whole time, just waiting for somebody to try and take out the top 1,000 people in our government. Well, top 1,000 military people in our government. Also seemed like kind of a dumb idea, but and they said in the news, the critics were saying about how, well, you could just put them on Zoom, and back to kind of talking about the private sector versus the government sector. When you do these Zoom calls, anybody out there do these Zoom calls, there's always one person that can't hear, can't see, or they got noise coming from their thing, and they get disconnected, and or it's more than one person. They're saying, the critics were saying that these 800 plus admirals and generals should do a Zoom call. Can you imagine 800 people on a Zoom call? Whatever Zoom is now, whatever the popular one is. I'm sure there's some, Zoom's probably like the old one now. There's probably a new one. What is it, Teams or something, or not FaceTime, but whatever. If you're gonna have a meeting with that many people, which, whatever, I don't know the intricacies of the military, but you got to get together in person. I mean, you can't pick it on them for not Zoom calling. It renamed the Secretary of Defense the Secretary of War, which you're just doing something that everybody already knew. Every other country that hates us or loves us, whatever, or is indifferent to us. So every other country, basically, that has a stake, a play in the world, military operation system, already knew it was the Secretary of War. I mean, that's all we do is go to war. We're constantly warring. So everyone knew it wasn't defense. Secretary of Defense is just a nice way of saying, yeah, we're a defensive country, but you're not. We're not. We're definitely an offensive country. We just got done bombing Iran, right? We just bombed the shit out of them a couple of months ago. Yeah, we're the Department of War, not the Department of Defense. Wow, I can't believe how much I helped that cigar by biting it like that and cracking it. There's something in there blocking it. Now it's just perfect. The leaf is perfect, nothing's wrong. Everything's just smooth as silk over here. When I retro like that, it gets a little nutty. Like a little cashew nut. Yeah, this is nice. even though this cigar was inexpensive, like I said, $5 or, yeah, I think it was 5. I didn't think it was going to be not good. I knew, being that it has a Rocky Patel label on it, that it would still be a good stick. I wonder what a really expensive Rocky Patel's like. It's probably really good. So we'll see what happens. See what happens in the political world tonight, and we'll see what happens in the Major League Baseball world tonight. I wonder, I didn't even look into it. I wonder when the Phillies play. I know the Mets missed the playoffs this year. The Phillies, I'm sure, made it. I'm sure they did. They were in first place. They probably have a bye or something. They're probably waiting for the 2 wild cards. There's probably a National League wild card that it's not even on my radar. And then the American League wild card starts tonight. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday this week. All right, so like typically with a lot of these whiskeys I explore, they open up tremendously, at least on the nose while we're outside here. So this has been in the glass now for well over 30 minutes. I put it in the glass about 10 minutes-ish before I started filming. It's just waterfalls of caramel and cherry, which, I don't know. I don't know if that's typical for sherry and cognac together or what. I don't have anything to compare this to other than a separate sherry cask and cognac cask. The nose is phenomenal. Like, it's just, the nose is just boom. Wow. Okay. Okay, the young guy at the liquor store, probably like mid-20s, maybe late 20s. I was looking at that and he was like, buy that. He was like, it's awesome. So he was right. Pretty awesome. The reason I say that is because if I'm in there ever again and he says the same thing about something else, I'd probably give it a try. Sort of proved himself here. He was like, if you like cask finished stuff, you know, like finished whiskeys, not cask finished, but, you know, sherry cask, you know, finished whiskeys, he said to pick it up. Yeah, wow, what a great cigar. I mean, just remarkable. I love these box pressed Toros though, this size cigar. I'm really getting into the Toros. Well, I've been into Toros, but really smoking a lot of Robustos or Robustos, however you're supposed to say it. I don't know. I just say Robusto. Robustos and Toros. You know, and anything box pressed, and then the torpedoes and double perfectos, those things are all great. When I first started this exploration journey, I was smoking a lot of Churchills. Smoking a lot of Churchills and a lot of Gordos. Churchill is fine. It's fine. It's a long cigar. It's just a little bit longer smoke. And then the Gordo's just too big. I talked about this. The 60 gauge is just too much. It's too much. Unless it's box pressed, and even then, torpedo's fine. Box pressed is fine too, but better than the regular round. But a 60 Gordo round cigar is just, whew, gauge is too big. This ash on here is like, I don't know that I've seen another cigar with an ash like this. I mean, that is just phenomenal. Look at that. I mean, it's just white. It's like what? It's like Santa Claus's beard. I mean, that is a really white ash. I know it's really actually gray, but you know what I mean. It's really light gray. Weather's just perfect today. You can like wear whatever you want. You can wear a t-shirt, a sweatshirt. Depending on what kind of person you are. Tomorrow it's supposed to get cool. First day of October. Shit's gonna cool off big time. Like the high 40s around here in the Northeast, Pennsylvania Northeast. I'm gonna ash this again just because I don't want to wear it. Ash is just perfect. It just comes off beautifully. Maybe smoking this thing a little quick, you know, just based on the way the ash is, but not too bad. We lit this thing like what, 35 minutes ago, something like that. See how loose that is. It's pretty crazy how loose that is. Although it tightens, then it gets tight when you move it all the way here, which is probably where it should be. I usually move the band down a little because I like to really lip the end of it up. Kind of really get my mouth around the end of that baby. I know there's a joke in there. I get it. Which makes me think of, it was either, yeah, it was last night. Cigar at Cigar Scope. He did a live. He did a live, you know, smoking a cigar. I think he was drinking some whiskey or something, some rum. I think it was rum. And I was on the chat a little bit, and he was talking, you know, to everybody. But he was saying, you know, about these long videos I do, and I know nobody's here. There's like 6 people still here, maybe. He might be one of them. Shout out to you if you're still here, Cigar Scope. But he said about maybe me doing lives, and I do like that idea on paper. It's kind of what I'm doing right now, only there would be, you know, it would be live. I wouldn't just record it. Difference between me and a lot of people is I don't edit my videos. I said this before, and it's a little laziness on my part. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. But at the same time, you just take the YouTube bar and just scroll it, and you can skip whatever you want, skip to whatever part of the video you want. But with the live, the thing that I'm not excited about is he went through it a little bit. I mean, nobody was a real asshole or anything, but there's people saying some shit on the live. Like, he disappeared for a couple minutes, and somebody was picking on him about it, and it's like, dude went to get something or take a leak. Who cares? Fast forward it. Oh, that's right, you can't. It's live. I gotta figure if you're there for a live, though, you don't care how long you're there for. The idea is to be there for a while. Well, we might be at the halfway point on this cigar. I know people don't do them halfway, they do thirds, so we're definitely into the second third. Okay, so it's a specific sherry cask. And you know, cognac only comes from one region in the world, and that's the region of Cognac in France. So that could be where this price tag's coming from as well. You know, you're talking about probably a pretty expensive barrel to buy, a cognac barrel. And then this sherry barrel says it was a Pedro Jimenez, looks like Pedro Jimenez sherry and cognac cask for a total unique flavor worthy of the Magnus name. Sure. Sure. I mean, I guess when you take the cost of the bottle compared to what it costs to go out for a drink, I mean, then you're talking, you know, pennies on the dollar. I mean, I can't go out and get a neat pour of Buffalo Trace for less than $12 a pour. You know, and that's probably not even a 2-ounce pour. That's probably a 1.5 or 1 3/4 ounce pour. That's pretty expensive for a $30 MSRP. And I know Buffalo Trace is, all right, let's use a more common one, right? So let's do Maker's Mark. Excuse me, just Maker's Mark. Again, a $30 90 proof shelfer that there's 50,000 of them everywhere. You know, you could never, every liquor store you go in has Maker's Mark, entry level, $30. You go out for a pour of that, I can't get a pour of that for less than $10. Same thing with Knob Creek, or you know, Knob Creek is 10-ish, maybe more sometimes. And then Woodford, you know, Woodford's a $40 shelfer in my store all the time, you know, the regular entry level. That's a $14 pour, $12 pour. So if you look at it like that, then, you know, most bottles you're going to get in the store are going to be a good value. I've talked about this too a million times, but I don't buy cigars or whiskey to keep them. I buy them to smoke them. I'm being a little more patient than I was initially with both, with cigars and whiskey, where I'm actually keeping cigars in the humidor for a few weeks before I actually smoke them. Before, I didn't know any better. I thought, oh, if I buy a 5-pack at Cigars International, I could bring them right home and smoke them. And I mean, I did, and they were fine. But I think it does make sense to put them in the humidor for a few weeks before breaking them out. If you have other stuff going on, then you shouldn't have any issues with that. You know, you should be able to do that no problem. If you have other cigars to smoke, you should be able to put your new cigars away for a few weeks. So I've been doing that. And then with the whiskeys, right, you know, there's a lot of people that say, oh, this is a neck pour. You know, the first pour out of the bottle is never going to be great. It's good. And again, they're right. As this sits for a while, it probably will get even better. So what I'll most likely do, just a little inside here, is I will share this with a friend. We'll each have another pour. So it'll be down around here. You know, 4 more ounces will come out of here, 2 2-ounce pours. Then I'll let this sit for weeks and weeks and weeks and see what happens to it. Get some space for some air in there. But you don't want to drink it down to here and then let it sit, because it's the same problem. Then you have too much air, you know, so you do a little bit more out, let it sit. So I'm getting better with that stuff. I'm learning a little bit here as we go with letting cigars rest and whiskey sort of air out. Yeah, it's a really medium bodied cigar as well. I mean, it's just very, very good. Very good stuff. That is so shiny you can barely see it. There it is. I mean, look at that cigar band. I mean, this guy, They say he's the hardest working guy in the cigar business. I don't know about that, but I know he's got some damn pretty cigar bands. There is no expense spared here, I can tell you that. I mean, even the foot band on this, thing is as good as some, you know, regular cigar bands on other cigars. Look at this thing. If I said this was the cigar band, there wouldn't be a person that would argue and say, oh, that's not it. I mean, that's the foot band, and that's as good as a lot of people's regular cigar bands. So yeah, great cigar company. I gotta get my hands on a light Rocky Patel, like a Connecticut. See if he's got it going on there, because all I smoke of his is his Maduros. Unless that decade was sun-grown, but the wrapper was really dark. Pretty sure everything I've had of his has been a Maduro. Yeah, it hasn't gotten spicy, hasn't gotten much stronger. It's just sort of just hanging out in the place it started, which is really nice. If anything, the flavor, like in my mouth, has grown, has gotten better, but all right, you guys, I'm gonna turn it off now. I'm gonna show you this ash one more time. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys are drinking, what you guys are smoking. Let me know if you hung in there for the whole video. If you like these long videos, I'll keep making them. I get about a quarter as many views on these long videos as I do on my shorts. So I've been making a lot more shorts. When I first started this channel, all I made was long videos. And then I made a short one time, kind of out of being lazy, again, with the laziness. And I got a ton of views, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe that's what people want to see. I really can't tell what people want other than the views. You know, more views makes me think that people like that video more. But if you like these long videos, let me know so I can keep making them. Kind of need an excuse at this point to make long videos, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people watching them. So take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, everybody.